Family, welcome back to another Premier League Combined 11 video. On today's slate, we have the Manchester Derby, the big one on Sunday, which I am so excited for a multitude of reasons. But let's get straight into it. My combined 11 for Man United, Man City. Starting in goal, I'm going Ederson. I, for one, am not going to get fooled by Onana's big penalty save that he did make for United to secure them all 3 points at midweek. We're not going to forget about how brutal he's been for United all season. And for his sake, I hope it's a little bit of a kickstart to his season with United, which has been so poor. But Onana, Ederson, it's easily Ederson 10 times out of 10. At right back, I'm going Kyle Walker. Diego Dalot has actually been pretty solid since coming in for Wan-Bissaka when he got injured, and he did save United in their previous Premier League match with a brilliant goal, getting them a crucial 3 points. But when it comes to Kyle Walker, he's the best right back in Premier League history and in great form this season, and he is going to leave Old Trafford with Marcus Rashford in his pocket. The two center backs, I'm going Diaz and Stones. Varane has obviously had a fantastic career, but he's just not the same player he used to be. And Maguire, although he did score a huge goal for United, he's obviously not getting into the side. Diaz, the best center back in the Premier League in my opinion right now, he easily slots in. And Stones has been class, whether he's been playing right back, CDM, inverted right back, center back, it doesn't matter. When you're putting together the best 11, Diaz and Stones need to be in the side. At left back, I'm going Josko Vardiol. Similar to Stones, he doesn't really have a set position. He can play left center back, he can play left back, but it doesn't really matter. His range of passing at the left back position, combined with how great his defending is really special. And when comparing him to Reguilon, who as a Spurs fan knows very well, Reguilon is an absolute liability. I understand he's put in a couple good performances for United and they think he's class, but he is not a good left back. And whoever City puts out at that right wing position on Sunday is going to have an absolute field day against Reguilon. I'm going Josko Vardiol. At the 6 is obviously Rodri. Man City has lost 2 matches this entire season, and the common denominator is Rodri did not start in those games. His importance to this team constantly gets overlooked by how many other great players are around him, but he is the core and the foundation of this multi-year dynasty run that Man City has been going on. And you can go all the way back to the Champions League final against Chelsea. Pep decided to switch up the team for whatever reason. Rodri did not start against Chelsea, and they lost that match too. It's a very clear 2 + 2 = 4. Rodri starts, Man City wins. It's that simple. And when comparing him to either Casemiro or Amrabat, similar to Varane, Casemiro has had a fantastic career, but has clearly lost a step at that 6th position. And Amrabat, who I also think is a good player, just isn't in the same class as Rodri. At center mid, I'm going Bruno Fernandes. Bruno is the only player in this United side, probably outside Scott McTominay recently, who is even attempting to have an above average season. He has 4 goal involvements in 9 matches this season, which doesn't seem amazing, especially for Bruno's standards. But in this horrid Man United side, that's actually an above the average clip of goal involvements. So he gets in at the number 8. And you all may be wondering, Bruno plays the 10 or center attacking mid. But at center attacking mid, I'm going Phil Foden. And if it weren't for me putting Bruno at the 8, he wouldn't have made the side because I am taking Foden over Bruno Fernandes for this game 10 times out of 10. Foden's situation at City has been a blessing in disguise. He's always playing behind De Bruyne when it comes to that number 10 possession, but he's also come up the ranks with Pep as his coach. But with De Bruyne's injury, we have finally gotten to see Phil Foden take over that number 10 role consistently, and he has been absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, the second best number 10 in the Prem behind James Maddison. If taking Foden over Bruno at the 10 wasn't controversial enough, at left wing, I'm going Doku over Marcus Rashford. For me, this honestly isn't even close. Rashford has 2 goal involvements in 9 Premier League matches, on top of the fact that he has 0 goals in 3 Champions League matches. He has actually been horrendous this season and is a huge reason why Man United have had such a lackluster season. Doku, on the other hand, has the same goal involvements in the Premier League in 3 less matches, not to mention he has a goal and an assist in the Champions League and is constantly creating chances for that City side. If anyone who has watched these two play this season and would honestly rather have Rashford over Doku is either blind or pushing some sort of England agenda. Rashford at this point has played himself out of any sort of contention for that starting 11 for England at the Euros. When you look at the likes of Maddison, Foden, Saka, Sterling, Bowen, and Grealish all in better form than Rashford in those 3 spots behind Kane. It is going to be so sad he may not even touch the pitch at Euro 2020. And then on the other hand, you're going to have Doku playing a key role at that left wing position for Belgium at the Euros, who might give them a little bit of spark, which this Belgium side needs so badly. At striker, I'm going Haaland over Højlund. Haaland has actually kind of been average this entire season. If you look a little bit deeper than just what the stats say on paper and actually watch his performance, he hasn't been as good as he was last season. Now, he obviously had an unreal record-breaking season last year, but it's kind of been a little underwhelming when it comes to Haaland. But of course, Rasmus Højlund isn't going to be the one that takes him out of this combined 11. If this was a Man City Spurs combined 11, I would actually take Son at striker over Haaland just based off of current form. But when it comes to Haaland or Højlund, I'm obviously taking the robot. Finally, at right wing, I'm taking Julian Alvarez. This guy can play in all 3 positions behind Haaland and is seriously in the race for Premier League Player of the Season. That's how good he's been this year. His form right now is just laughable, and if you saw in the Champions League, he came on and scored pretty much with his first touch of the entire ball. It did get called back for handball, but it's just insane. Everything he touches right now turns to gold. He's been easily the best City player of the season, and when you look at what his competition is at the right wing position, it is a joke talking about Antony right now. He has been so bad and a detriment to his team. They just have no other options since Ten Hag decided to exile Sancho from the squad. They'd be better off with whoever is playing right wing at the U18s right now. Now, that is obviously 10 City players and 1 United player, and honestly, I kind of forced Bruno in there at the 8 because I didn't want it to be 11 or 0, because then what kind of combined 11 would it be? But that is so indicative of what these 2 teams are right now. United is an absolute joke, and I'm staring into all you United fans' eyes right now. This is not me hating. You are going to lose 3-4-0 at Old Trafford and be looking around begging for the game to be over. And once again, I don't want to come off as a hater, but I need to give you this rant right now. Every single United fan owes me an apology. Everything I said about these frauds from Manchester has absolutely come true this season. I said they would finish 8th in my Premier League predictions, and that's where they're sitting right now, but that might be a little generous when all is said and done. They shouldn't even be in the top half of the table right now. Every single person in my comments called me crazy, told me American doesn't know ball, told me that I should delete my entire account. But I was the only one with big enough balls because all the pundits, all the YouTubers, all the TikTok creators weren't brave enough to call a spade, looking at this United side, knowing that it was not strong enough to compete in the current state of the Premier League. And if it weren't for a McTominay added time double against 14th place Brentford and a Dalot wonder goal against 18th place Sheffield United, they would be in the bottom half of the table right now. And what's even funnier is they haven't even gotten a point from anyone in the top half of the Premier League right now. Their other 3 wins have been against 12th place Wolves, 15th place Forest, and 14th place Burnley, all by just 1 goal. And that's just in the Premier League. In my Champions League prediction, I also told you all that Man United would knock it out of the group and that Galatasaray would finish 2nd. Galatasaray already went into Old Trafford and got all 3 points. Man United squeaked out 3 points against Copenhagen at home due to what no one would have expected, a Maguire goal and then an Onana penalty save. And for their other 3 fixtures, they have Bayern at home. They're going to get absolutely battered. And then they have to go to Galatasaray and go to Copenhagen. They are going to be knocked out of the Champions League, like I said. Then I also told you that Mason Mount was the worst transfer of the entire summer, and look what's happened. When he played, he was absolutely useless. They were playing him at the 8, kind of behind Bruno, and he's not an 8, he's not a 10, he's not a 6, he's a bench player, and I told you all it was an awful use of funds. Everyone called me a hater while I was simply laying out facts, and everyone discounted my ball knowledge because I was the only one bold enough to make this prediction about one of the biggest clubs in England. But I'm going to lay out one more fact for you all. Man United is going to get battered at home 3 or 4-0. It's not even going to be a contest. I'd be shocked if they get more than 1 or 2 shots on goal, and every single person at United is going to be looking around begging for help. They're not going to know, is it Ten Hag's fault? Is it the owner's fault? Is it the player's fault? They're all going to go crying themselves to sleep after City dismantles them at Old Trafford. And breathe. I just needed to get that rant out because I got so much hate for my Man United predictions when it came to their transfers, when it came to the Premier League predictions, and when it came to the Champions League predictions. But every single thing I've said has come true so far. But that is it for another Combined 11 video. If you've enjoyed, please like, please subscribe. I can take all you subscribers. Just a young creator trying to get more subscribers. And leave a comment where I went wrong. If you're a Man United fan, Just let me know what the plan is going forward. Do you agree with me or am I overreacting? Let me know in the comments what the plan is for United going forward, and I will see you next time.